Welcome to the Lose Your Big Ass Stomach podcast. I'm your host, Jay Jackson, and my mission here is to help you get rid of that big ass stomach and take back control of your health so that you can look and feel your best by being the best version of yourself, mentally and physically, while destroying the mediocre agenda society is trying to brainwash you into, and breaking our families' generational curses of being unhealthy by being a healthy and fit role model. It's time to set a new standard. It's time to set a new standard of living. If you find the podcast helpful, be sure to hit that follow button because that helps us build a movement. Let's go. One of the most common frustrations that I see a lot of people have when they reach out to me is they're putting in so much time and effort into doing cardio, hitting the weights, sweating their ass off while they're putting in that work, putting in a lot of time as well, but they're not seeing the results on the scale. When they step on that scale, the scale ain't going down. When they're looking in the bathroom mirror, they don't see a difference in the way their physique looks. And even when they put their clothes on, their clothes still not fitting comfortably like they wanted to. And if that's you, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you put in that type of time and effort, you would think that you'd have some type of result for the effort that you put in. And one of the biggest misconceptions in the fitness industry is that if you're sweating, if you do enough at the gym and start sweating, whether you're doing cardio or lifting weights, you go get the results. And I used to believe this too. But after so long, I noticed even while I was sweating my ass off, I still wasn't seeing the changes. You know, I even remember when I became when I first became a personal trainer, and I started training this guy at his condominium. He had a gym at his condominium, his high-rise condominium. And there was this one guy who was in there. He'd always be in there when I'd be training this guy, Peter. And the guy would be going ham, like going hard on the elliptical machine, sweating so bad that sweat would be not just, dripping off him, but it'd be like a puddle of sweat around him and the elliptical machine. That's how bad it was. Now, I trained Peter for about 6 years. And for a few of those years, we would see this guy at the gym on the elliptical machine every time I trained Peter. But month after month, even year after year, y'all, this guy's body looked the exact same. And back then, I didn't know nothing about, the big ass belly. That wasn't even a thing for me. I just noticed that this guy, he still had a big stomach and he wasn't losing weight. And I'm like, dang, this dude putting a lot of time on this cardio machine to not see no changes. Like, nobody didn't see no changes. You see what I'm saying? And so, I do commend him on putting in that time and effort. And same for y'all. I commend y'all on putting in the time and effort, because some folks, they just be sitting on their ass on the couch complaining, making excuses. And, that's big ass stomach behavior. But if you putting in the time and effort and you sweating and you're thinking that, oh man, I broke a sweat. Oh man, I can't, I just want to get to the gym so I can get me a good sweat in, good sweat session in. I'll be good to go. Well, if you have a goal of losing belly fat, if your goal is to lean out, get lean, cut up, build muscle, and build muscle while burning fat, just sweating doesn't mean you're having a good workout. Just sweating doesn't mean, believe it or not, y'all, it doesn't mean that you're going to make progress. All sweating is, and I pulled this up on Google. It says sweating does not burn a measurable amount of calories. However, sweating out enough liquid may help you temporarily lose water weight. Sweating is our body's natural way of just regulating our body's temperature. It does not release, it just releases water and salt. And that's all it does, y'all. That's it. And when I started realizing this, as I got more and more into my fitness career, and I went from just focusing on like working hard to working smart. There's plenty of times when I go to the gym now and I never sweat. I might have a little bit of sweat on my stomach, but it's not nowhere near as bad as it used to be. Like, y'all, I used to be like a sweataholic back when I played football and ran track. Like, I was one of the kids on the team where when I would start sweating, my socks would be soaked once I took my shoes off. Like when I ran track or when I was playing football and I took my cleats off, man, my socks would just be dripping with sweat. That's how bad I used to sweat. And, nowadays, when I'm hitting the weights, the focus of the purpose of hitting weights, y'all, is not to sweat. If you do just so happen to sweat, cool. Because some people sweat more than others. Some people don't sweat at all. And there's no right, that don't mean that person is bad or good if they do or don't sweat. But if you go from just focusing on putting in effort to putting in smart and intentional effort when you're hitting the gym, you can get a lot better results. And so what I mean by that is, when you're doing weights, or even body weight training, I'm a big advocate of like lifting weights, man. There's a time and a place for doing body weight. If you're on vacation, you just don't have any type of equipment to use, cool. If you're at the house and you just don't have the financial resources to be able to go to the gym, cool. Do body weight. But at some point, if you want to go from good to great, you got to start lifting weights. All right. And then, when you're just doing body weight, man, you can't really train your back and all that kind of stuff. Like doing pull-ups. Some guys and women are so heavy, y'all can't do pull-ups right away. You see what I'm saying? And so that means you need to be using machines at the gym, like a lat pull-down machine to train those muscles. Or else those muscles are going unused. And what you don't use, you lose. You see what I'm saying? But my whole point behind saying this is, when we're doing lifting and strength training exercises, that's the purpose. Strength training, right? We're building strength, but it's also building our muscles. It's helping us develop our muscles. That doesn't require doing a whole lot of sweating at all. It just requires putting in the necessary effort and energy to push the weight to strengthen our muscles. Whether we're training legs, upper body, abs, it don't really matter. It's strength training, or some people call it resistance training. Now, when we're doing cardio, there is a way to gauge the level of intensity that we're using when we're doing cardio. All right. And what I notice is, let's just say, for example, you're just walking. You're walking at the park. That's very low intensity. So there's a possibility you might sweat, but it's not going to be nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just a sweater. Like if you're a sweater, you walk down the street, you're going to start busting out into a sweat. Some people like that. You see what I'm saying? But then other people, you have to increase that intensity. So instead of walking, you might need to do a brisk walk or even a jog to start getting that sweat going. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, because the intensity is so low, if you're just walking, you're never going to sweat. And so I look at sweating as like a way of, of course, it's regulating, our body's temperature and things like that. But at the same time, we can say, okay, well, I know I'm putting in a massive amount of effort and energy with this cardio. I'm jogging or even doing interval sprints and things like that, or doing intervals on the Stairmaster or something like that. Then yeah, you go start sweating real quick. I know back when I did bodybuilding, 5 to 10 minutes in to me starting that Stairmaster machine, and I was doing it for about an hour. I did the Stairmaster machine for a full hour, 6 to 7 days a week, preparing for my bodybuilding shows back when I used to do bodybuilding. And 5 to 10 minutes in, your boy sweating. Good 25, 30 minutes in, I'm drenched in sweat. Like it's dripping. You see what I'm saying? Because of the intensity that I was doing the Stairmaster in. And that's totally fine. But if I was just doing, the Stairmaster at a super low level 1 or 2, I'm just stepping, just moving, then I might sweat a little bit, but there's a chance I won't, because my intensity isn't extremely high while doing that type of cardio. And so, I want to just, share this podcast with you, share this episode with you, because I noticed that a lot of people tend to think, just because they're sweating, they're going to make progress. Just because they're sweating, they're going to lose body fat. You may lose some water weight. That's about it. It may show that you have, you're increasing the intensity of your workouts. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you're going to make progress. A lot of the fat loss progress and you leaning out, building muscle is going to come from a lot of what we do in the kitchen, like our nutrition. So eating quality food, eating the right amount of food, those things are what's going to help us lean out. Making protein a priority, so that way you can build muscle and burn fat a lot easier. Because there's levels to this thing, man. Like you can have two people. You can have one person that just focus on calorie intake, the other person focus on calorie and protein intake. The person who focuses on calories and protein, assuming that they have very similar goals, very similar, workout routines, the person who focuses on calories and protein, they're going to burn more fat. That's how important protein is. And so I want y'all to start to just become more mindful of these things. And, I grew up working hard. That's one of the biggest values that I got from my dad, like work hard. But after so long, working hard it's only gonna get you so far. At some point, you got to start opening up your eyes, being self-aware, and working smart while you're putting in that work and working hard. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself running up against a wall and just beating that wall, hitting that wall, and you're just gonna start getting disappointed and discouraged because you're like, man, I'm putting in so much time and effort. I can't go no harder. That's how some of y'all feel. You're like, man, I can't do no more in the gym. It's like I'm going almost every other, as much as I can, with my schedule. I have all these responsibilities with my family. I have a very demanding work career. And so it's only so much that you can do. And so, you're working hard. You're sweating. You're putting in that work in the gym. Now you got to start working smart. And so you can get yourself to that next level. And so you got to start being mindful about, okay, when I'm in the gym, I'm hitting these weights. My goal is to get stronger. I want to start, progressing myself. We call it progressive overload in the fitness industry. So you're getting stronger over time. You have a proper form down pat. With the cardio, you may increase the time or you may increase the intensity of whatever type of cardio you're doing. You may notice you start sweating a lot quicker because you've increased the intensity. But as far as dropping body fat, to be able to see your abs or just have a flat stomach and, being healthy and having energy, having a high level of testosterone, you know what I'm saying? You got to eat right, man. A lot of y'all, you don't feel well because you don't eat well. And so start paying attention to these things. Hopefully y'all found this podcast helpful. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, we're looking to grow this thing, man. We're looking to grow the movement, the Lose Your Big Ass Stomach movement. So be sure to hit that 5-star review button, man, so we can continue to grow this thing, get it more reach. From what I've heard about podcasting, the more reviews you have, the more it puts it out to more people. And so I want to help as many people as possible. And so with that said, you find the podcast helpful, be sure to hit that 5-star review button for your boy. And we out of here. Let's go.